It's a Patriots bye week, TGI bye. I don't think a week off in the NFL has ever come at a better time for a professional football team. We're going to offer you our fixes for your 2022 New England Patriots, mostly on the the offensive side of the ball, if you will. It's going to be a regular Zappy Hour with your old pals Fitzy and Dakota, and our special guest coming all the way in from your favorite high-end restaurant chain in Massachusetts, New England, and beyond. Hey, Dakota, are you ready to fuck around and find out?
See, the more you fuck around, the more you're going to find out.
It's a beautiful thing.
I want more clips of that guy. He probably has a lot more, right?
Well, we'll find out on a bye week edition of Dick Pigs. What's up, everybody? Your old pal Nick Fitzy Stevens here, alongside my guy, the original cash bomb himself, the fantasy spinster, the swing juicer himself, Steve Dakota Happis, and we welcome you to the bye week edition of Dick Pics here on the Fitzy GFY socials, brought to you by, of course, our friends at Underdog Fantasy and UnderdogFantasy.com. Download the app or visit their website today. Register to play my favorite game in the world, Pick'em, which is an over-under prop game that is legal still in Massachusetts, where they have the granny panties and restrictor plates on adult wagering. We will give you a match back of up to $100 on your initial deposit if you use the promo code FITZY. And if you use @FitzyGFY, you can tweet me up anytime, except unfortunately today's guest, a world-renowned restaurateur, as we learned before the show, actually has me blocked on Twitter. So
this is hilarious, people. Hilarious.
I cannot wait to find out what that was all about. Look at this. Here's what I love about doing this show.
Yeah.
Our pal David Tressel right now is watching on Facebook. I'm at the gym, Treadmill Entertainment. That is our new dude.
I love it.
That is our new. I was gonna go with Dick Pics. We're verified, we think, because Steve sprung for the $8 for us.
Did I? What? Do I have a blue check mark? I didn't even know.
I love the fact that's it. That's if we had business cards to pass out for this ding dong parade of a weekly football talking live stream, it would absolutely be Dick Pics, Treadmill Entertainment. Great to see you, Dave.
I love that. I love that.
And a good morning to you, Christine Gagan. How are you? Rad Rob, what up, fuckers? How are you, Rad Rob? Always good to see you in the chat. Robert Pickering, Morgan Freeman was such a beast. I don't know why you made that reference, but Steve Dakota Happis was my friend, and together every week we crawl through that 500 yards of shit to get out of Shawshank. Here we go. Hey, hi, Jennifer Robert from the Nashville Patriots fan club. Hello, Jennifer. Hi, Fitzy. And look at Big Eddie Monroe watching in. Look, we got fans all over Pats Nation. Morning, Fitzy. Great morning from San Antonio. Every day on the right side of the dirt is a beautiful day, Eddie.
Hey, now that I'm thinking, Fitzy, since we have people tuning in all over the country, when we bring Steve DiFilippo on, the owner operator of Davio's, he has opened up a new location, I believe, in Reston, Virginia. He has one in Dallas. We'll go through all his locations because I'm gonna make Steve give away stuff to our audience today. That's what I'm gonna do. He doesn't know this unless he's watching right now, but I am going to force his hand to make sure he gives away stuff if you walk into Davio's.
Hey, good morning to Nathan Edwards Bates, NEB. Yeah, you know me. Who else we got checking in here? Mike Shackleton. Afternoon, gentlemen. I don't know who you're calling gentlemen, but it is a beautiful afternoon. Les Ingalls always loves chirping up the Dakota. Hi, Les. How are you? Good morning, Jeff DeLuca. How are you? Wayne Felch, a man with a last name that I never do when I gamble or put money on the line. At least the Patriots will be above 500 after the weekend. That is one of the few things I can guarantee. And last but not least, Shelly Karen. Hi, from Virginia. Ooh. Hey, maybe Shelly can drive to the new Reston, Virginia
Reston
restaurant and go get some of those world-class, delicious. I can't believe I am a stand for the food of the man who we're going to have on the stream momentarily.
And you're blocked on Twitter.
I find out. I love this. Oh, yes. In fact, hey, Bruce Drake, what up? Keep it up, boys. Watching all the way from behind enemy lines in Indianapolis. Real quick, I have 0.0% interest in talking about last week's game. That was just an absolute turtle hump.
Did you win your 3-team teaser, though?
No,
you had,
of course, no.
You had the Pats, the Patriots won. You had the Panthers. They must have won that 3-teamer.
No, dude. I had them at 8.5. Teased them up to they had them at 7.5. Teased them up to 13.5.
Oh, they played Cincinnati. That was the
Cincinnati boat raced them, and that was the 5-touchdown mix-in game. And PJ Walker decided to return back to XFL form. So I keep getting 2 out of 3.
Yeah,
my teaser legs.
Yeah, Seattle was the other one, and they won outright. And unfortunately, I had the Saints on Monday night, and that was garbage.
You should. Honestly,
I didn't say it was my best bet of the year. I even coined it it's my best bet, but I don't like the card this weekend. But one thing I did say, I said the Jets were going to beat Buffalo, and you laughed at me.
No, I laughed because I like laughing at you, but I secretly kind of believe.
I think you even viewed me. You viewed me after I said the Jets were going to beat Buffalo.
You know what? And I'm going to view you right now as well, just because I still can. And I, like He-Man, have the power. All right, you can come back to the show because I want you to be here when we welcome in our first official guest here on the Dick Picks live stream. I am a super fan. I'm not just a fan. I'm a super fan of the man, his work with the Awaken 180 products. I buy his sausages frozen. That's right. I buy his meat. I love his meat. It's the best. I buy his sausages are my favorite, and I'm going to get him to tell me why they're the secret sausage and my favorite. Usually I pick them up at Shaw's, the official star market of the Red Sox network. And, of course, he makes the crispy tubular crack that I call it. The Philly cheesesteak and the chicken parm spring rolls, which I'm treated to every now and again at the Zudi Suite at Gillette Stadium, and of course whenever I dine at his fabulous restaurants, are the absolute best. Here to explain why he has me blocked on Twitter, as well as talk about the Patriots season on the whole, the one, the only Steve DiFilippo. Good morning, Steve.
You know, it's kind of odd when someone says they like my sausage. You know, and she's not blonde. Weird. I don't know. Great welcoming. First of all, I'm not a chain.
That's true. I should say what would you what not a restaurant, obviously not.
It's just a restaurant. We're just a restaurant. We're a family restaurant. That's all.
A series of fabulous family restaurants. So,
yes.
Steve, the idea to have you hop on, talk a little football, the magic behind Davio's and more came up a couple weeks ago because we were riding the wave of Bailey Zappi, the Zappi Hour mania. Zappi fever was sweeping through Patriots Nation. And Dakota and I were trying to come up with an idea for a cocktail to mirror Mac Jones and his season to date, as well as Bailey Zappi, so people could make it at the tailgate, whatever. Maybe it could be like a weekly special. So I came up with, I thought the Zappi Hour should be 2 shots espresso and Bailey's Irish cream liqueur. So you get the name Bailey in there, and you get the zap from getting like a nice little red eye shot.
Well, that's half of an espresso martini. So a dark espresso martini is with Bailey's. So you're taking out the vanilla vodka. You're taking on a couple things. So it's probably our number one drink is espresso martinis for some reason. They're just huge right now. So I think I would sell really well. I think it's a great idea.
So can we call it a Zappatini? And Steve, as you know, Alex, the owner of the brew house, last year he put a Dakota pizza on the menu for me. It was, the bell pepper and feta on the pizza. I think you need to put a Zappatini on the menu, and basically it's a half of a espresso martini.
Yeah. It'll be a full portion, but yeah, let's do it. I love it.
All right. Now, what about the Mac one though? We need one, since there is a quarterback controversy. We need something for Mac.
Yeah.
Mac and cheese? Maybe we name the mac and cheese dish or something? No, that's just too overdone.
Not going to put anything with lactic acid in an up glass or like a Rocks or Collins glass. Come on.
Yeah, we'd have to think about that.
Yeah.
Let's work on that.
So, Steve, we have actually, I mentioned, I'm not sure if you heard, I mentioned that you just opened up a new location in Reston, Virginia. And we have people on here from Virginia. So what I told them was, I don't know where the people are, but if you guys are close to Reston, because you're on our feed right now with Steve, go in there and Steve's going to give you a free Zapatini drink. That's what I would say.
Legal, but it's not in Massachusetts.
Well, put it on my tab. Put it on my tab.
Virginia's a controlled state, so we probably can get away with it because they sell you the liquor, so they probably want you to sell more of it.
Whereas in Massachusetts, of course, we still have the standing no happy hour. You can't give away.
No zappy hour.
We don't want happy hour. Restaurateurs do not want happy hour. Trust me, I'm in other states, and it's a race to the bottom for our business, and it just doesn't work for us. So I know you and I could probably go back and forth on it, but ask any restaurateur in town. We're not for it.
No, but saloons and bars probably still. I mean, or is it just a losing proposition, especially with the increase in prices and everything?
It's the one thing that hasn't been discounted. So we really would like to. I mean, we could talk about mothers against driving, and we could talk about the safety and all that as well. But I think, to be honest with you, I think it's more of a money thing really for restaurants. Why do we want to cut our prices? So it's a big deal.
Was it used first just like people after work, so it was get that after work crowd that might not normally go in there? Is that what it was originally for?
Yeah, well, I guess I don't know. I remember being in college and going to the Arc by Kenmore Square and just going crazy, and I remember not remembering how to get back to the dorm. So it was not a good thing back then. And I think what happened was, we're talking the late 70s. It was a lot of problems, and people were having problems in their cars. Again, now we have Uber, and it's long 40 years ago, so it's different now. But still, I'd like not to see it. So
all right,
here we go. Here's our first suggestion in the chat box. Nathan Edwards Bates is watching live on Facebook right now. Says, Steve, how about a Macatini? You would use apple liqueur. He's probably going Macintosh. I mean, like a sour apple martini. I feel like back during the initial heyday of like Sex and the City, when you were too much of a basic to order a Cosmo, you'd get like a sour apple martini. But that time has passed, right?
Yeah. No one drinks that sweet stuff. I mean,
well, and nobody wants Mac, so it's a perfect drink to have on the menu.
Come on. It's not his fault that he slid on the 2-yard line. Come on.
Thank you, Steve. I want to get into your Pat steaks in a second. Real quick, here's another great suggestion for the specialty menu, perhaps at the Foxborough location. Joe McBride, watching on YouTube Live, says, create a Mac Jones martini, which is really good, then throw a sour pickle in it and call it a Patricia special.
Oh, geez. We have a restaurant at Patriot Place. Yep. My landlord is Robert and Jonathan. Okay, so let's be careful here. Okay,
Jonathan.
Yeah, but,
Jonathan.
Patricia comes in. And Bill. They're all great guests of ours. So we're not gonna insult anybody here. So even though I just did.
Well, that's not our job. That's what these are all just the comments and suggestions of the viewers. Our disclaimer every week is we stand behind absolutely nothing we or the commenters say watching on the live stream. Steve, you're a diehard Pats.
I just want to say it's too bad my dad isn't with us because he grew up in Providence and he was a huge gambler. Like, at 10 of 1 every Sunday, Skyballs would call or Big Nose Sam or whatever. All these like bookies, would call and get his bets, and he used to go on those charters to Vegas back before casinos were out of Vegas, and he was such a gambler. I mean, this is crazy, but we had a casino in our basement, so. We had a crap table. We had slot.
At your house growing up?
Yeah, growing up.
This is my kind of house.
Yeah.
So they would party. My father's funny, was not a drinker, but you would never know it because he was the life of the party, and he drank like Fresca. It's just bizarre. So they would come over Friday night, and my mom would make them like late night appetizers, and then we'd get up in the morning. They'd still be down there playing, and my mom would make them all breakfast. It was the craziest stuff. So. My father was such a degenerate gambler. By the way, he was very successful, made a lot of money. It wasn't like we weren't looking for the next meal or anything. We lived in Linfield, so we were in the slums of Linfield. So we this is crazy. I mean, I'm embarrassed to even admit this, but when I was like 13, 14, he thought it was a good idea to teach me how to play craps because of the math. He said, Stevie, you learn how to play craps. you'll always be good with numbers. You'll be like quick. You'll get the odds. Why he always bet 6 and 8, and how you got more money. And you play the line and everything. I mean, it's when I think back, he was so like determined to teach me. So right now, I could go to any casino and I could just walk onto that floor and I could start playing. It's the craziest thing.
So, Steve, I fully support that. So, I grew up playing a lot.
Of course you do. Of
Well,
course
no,
you do.
because here's the thing. Our biggest fear teaching our kids as they grow up is hopefully they turn out correctly. They have street smart. They have education, whatever, right? We can not worry about them. When I used to play a lot of online poker, and my daughters, when they were 4, 6, 8, 10, they used to sit left and right of me and watch. And they would ask me about certain hands and go, why you did this? And I said, well, here's the math on it. If I have an ace king, I'm a favorite over this random. And there is something to that. I was never a big craps player. I did bet sports, but I was more of online poker because of the game of the math and the odds of what you're putting in, what you could win. Now, neither of them have become degenerates in the gambling space. My ex-wife at the time, she was like, you're going to ruin these kids. They're going to grow up as degenerate gamblers. I'm like, no, don't worry about it. To become a degenerate, you're either a degenerate or you're not. Yeah. The skills that they learn now and those values are going to be important. And in both of my daughters are very analytical, and that is important, and especially in this day and age. They understand math and analytics.
Yeah, well, I don't gamble now. I mean, I'll go to Vegas for meetings, and I go out to eat or I go to a meeting because I know I got that gene in there somewhere. So I kind of stay away from it. But I know if I just walk over there, I can do it in a second. And so I try to stay away from it. I really do.
Steve, before I ask you about how you feel about this Patriots season on the whole, the fact that you just rattled off that personal history and that it skewed so similarly to mine was almost jaw-dropping because my dad was not a drinker. Now, I enjoy my adult beverages. I'm a big craft beer guy. And somebody asked in the chat, if you're friends with a brewery, could there be a craft beer with a K on tap at a Davio's? I think that'd be kind of fun. But
we do. We have our own beer. We partnered with up the street. With,
Wormtown, Shoveltown, who?
No, the IPA. So we have it's a Davio's. It's really good. It's actually. Have you had it? It's blood orange IPA.
Ooh, no, that sounds delish.
Yeah. I'm not an IPA guy. I think it's very high in sugar, Steve. So being a type 1 diabetic, I have to stay away from it.
Fair enough. But like growing up, my dad was not a drinker. My dad was the life of the party. My dad was a ridiculous gambler, terrible gambler. Sadly, not a very successful one as well. Theater producer, growing up on the South Shore. And when my mom and my dad split in '86, my dad was able to actually keep the mortgage whole in Braintree because he rented out his apartment in Quincy every night for an hour and a half to Richie the bookie. So Richie used to swing by every night at 6 o'clock, set up shop in his tracksuit, bring his own phone, his own notebook, stay there till 7:30. At 7:30 on the nose, the phone got unplugged. He closed the notebook. He said, "See you, George. See you later, Nick," and walked out. And to this day, I still believe that I have a very analytical mind and I can crunch numbers quickly. I almost had a perfect score on my SATs because I was around my dad all the time, and he used to always be like, "All right, Nico, so the Oilers are favored by 3.5, and the over/under is 46. How many points does Dad need? Warren Moon, how many touchdowns does Dad?" Like, he used to sit here, and my mother would just sit there horrified, like, "What are you doing to this child?" But I can crunch any number in basic math to this day in my head because of my old man.
Were you ever, fortunate to go into a casino with him?
No.
Yeah,
By
see,
the time
I actually went out west.
He was ill.
I was blessed. I got to go gamble with him and play craps. Because my father said, play craps or blackjack. They're the only two things you want to play in a casino. That's what he always said. So, and he always said, another really great advice that I always tell people is always have the high number of how much you need to win before you quit. Everyone knows the low number. You're out of money. You're done, right? But like he would say, when I make 10 grand, he goes, I would quit. And sometimes he would make $10,000 in 10 minutes on the table, right? And he literally would take all his stuff. He goes, "Hey, we're done for the day." And he can't gamble till the next day. That was his agreement. If I won like $200, I'd be, okay, I'm done. And so that was his thing. Now here I am in the restaurant, but I gamble every day when you really think about it. I'm kind of
sure.
And what location you at, Steve, right now, if you mind?
I'm at the Seaport, up on the second floor.
Ooh,
So
okay.
nice.
My favorite place.
Yeah.
In case you're just tuning in, it's Steve DiFilippo of Davio's joining us here on the stream, talking cocktails, restaurateur, growing up with gambling dads, and of course, the 2022 Patriots. Hey, by the way, Steve, are you going to be involved in Fourier's 25-hour crusade for a cure
I
next
usually
week?
call in and help out. I brought food one year. Yeah, he's a good friend.
Hey, I'll be there 6 to 10.
Yeah.
Next Wednesday night in studio, Steve. So you wait to. I don't have a story as good as the Steph engagement on the toilet I did last year, but maybe I can find something out.
Hold on a second. How am I an employee of the company? You're just a friend of. You donate T-shirts. You got the 6 to 10 shift. I drew the 1 a.m. to 3 a.m. shift with Ford.
Hey, what can I say?
Son of a bitch.
Yeah, he's a good guy. I like Christian a lot.
Christian's great. No, he's honestly he's the
he's
absolute
done a lot of
best.
stuff with me. We've done Taste of the NFL benefits, and he's just a good guy, and his wife is awesome as well.
Steph? Oh yeah, no,
Kim.
she's on it. Kim is the best. She's awesome. So you got a place down there in Patriot Place. Obviously, you're a Pats fan. You listen to EEI all the time. You're one of us. Yeah, you just have better taste in clothes and food. So
I have season tickets too. Don't you love it when people calling? I'm a season ticket holder. Like, who cares? I mean,
yeah, great. Well, that's
I've been
the
a
same.
season ticket holder since 1964. And I like. What does that mean? So you're smart? You're a genius? What does that mean? I don't understand that. Like, so you buy tickets. That means you know what's going on.
You've seen a lot of football. Good for you. That and $3 is going to get you a small cup of lousy coffee at Starbucks. So.
Since we have a lot of people tuning in from around the country, Steve, can you rattle off where your locations are?
Well, we'll start south. So we're down in Texas. We're at the Colony, which is North Dallas near Plano. Then we're up in the Buckhead in Atlanta. And then we go up further the coast to Virginia. We're in Reston now. We just opened last week. And then we're over in Pennsylvania, King of Prussia, which is about 30 minutes outside of Philly. They've had a great election there this week.
What are you talking about? John Fetterman is the first son of anarchy, or somebody wrote the first key grip from a movie set to ever be elected senator. That was I don't know. I can just be Dr. Oz and go, okay, I'm a heart surgeon. I'm one of the smartest guys in the world.
Yeah.
I don't know. He must be looking at something.
Hey, Steve, real quick, Shelly Karen, diehard Pats fan. What's the address for the Reston location? I live in Virginia. I'm definitely going to swing by.
It's in Reston Station, so Reston Plaza. So it's like 2 miles from Reston Town Center. So it's a whole new area. There's going to be this huge, massive JW Marriott going across from us, and condos and apartments. It's this huge new thing that we got involved in, and I'm friends with the owner, Chris Clemente, who owns Comstock, and we're blessed that they want us there. And it was one of those deals where his daughter went to BU, and he loved Davio's, and then I get the call one day, and so that's kind of how it all happened.
Okay, and our pal Rad Rob, who's also our unofficial video technician and IT department. I'm 4 hours from Buckhead. The hell with it. I'll make the drive. I'll check it out. Steve, I first met you in person, actually, back at the Super Bowl 53 weekend. I had been working for the Patriots. I was hosting the rallies. I just came, I went and did a broadcast for a couple hours with Greg Hill and Fourier from the Buckhead location. It was an absolute blast. I came from hosting a Pats rally day before the Super Bowl. That week was awesome. That's one of my favorite weeks ever, from the rally in the stadium down to Atlanta, all the way to Brady hoisting his 6th Lombardi with the Patriots. That was and I ate my weight in your truffle fries.
That was a great night. That was funny. The governor was there, Charlie Baker, and that was the one when he had so much fun. And when he was leaving, I was walking him out to the front, and there was all these black cars in front. So he just goes to get in the black car, and it was an Uber. It wasn't his car, And the state police come, governor, they come running over. Oh man! And they open the door, and it was really funny because he almost drove away with some other guy. It wasn't his car. So
in local news this evening, Governor Charlie Baker has been missing since last spotted at Steve DiFilippo's Davio's in Buckhead. God, what an absolute nightmare that would be. All right, so you haven't. What? Fix the seat, Steve. We're going to talk.
Well, what are the other locations? He was working his way up.
All right.
Well, we're in Massachusetts, so we're at Logan Airport, right? We're at Terminal C. We're in Linfield. We're also in Seaport. There's 2 in Boston: Seaport and Back Bay, Braintree, Chestnut Hill, and Foxborough. So there's 7 in Massachusetts.
And what's next? What's the next one? Have you got one targeted out yet?
Well, we're trying to get to Florida, especially after what's going on in this state. So, a lot of things are happening here. So we'd like to be down there. Been looking down there. It's just hard. Florida's tough.
Can I be part of the Florida one if you need some?
I get that a lot. Everyone says, "Oh, Steve, I'll help open the Florida one."
Listen, Steve, I know it's a very.
I just want to eat there and drink. I just have a place to go.
Personally, I mean, if it's in Southwest Florida, which I love, like the Fort Myers area, Naples, I know there's already a lot of really high-end restaurants down in that way. But
it's good. You want to be where they are.
If you're thinking Southwest Florida, which is where I want to retire now, let alone 20 years from now, whatever, as they say in Lord of the Rings, you'll have my axe, Steve.
Well, we'll see. We'll see what happens. I don't know.
All right, before we get into the NFL, I have a question. I'm not sure if you heard Fitzy, but Fitzy just realized that you're blocking him on Twitter. What's the story behind this?
I have no idea about that. Were you like, what are you politically? Were you driving me crazy one day or something?
I don't.
He never says anything politically.
I'm a registered independent and I'm apolitical, so I never talk. I know enough. You don't ever touch another man's radio dial. You don't doubt Tom Brady, and you never talk politics at the dinner table or a live stream.
So what is your thing?
At Fitzy GFY.
This would be amazing.
I know what happened. What did
somebody
I do?
Maybe somebody grabbed his phone.
Or, there's a lot of Fitzys.
Yeah.
Fitzy what?
GFY. This could be a huge moment right here. And Dakota and Fitzy.
FITZY?
Yep.
GFY?
Yep. That's me.
Does it say you're blocking him?
Yeah, it does.
Wow. So I think you should just I think you should just keep him blocked. I think you should keep him blocked.
I don't know how that happened. He must have just did something. Did you make fun of Tom one day? Or?
I just went from blocked to followed. There it is. That's a new name of a segment every week, Dakota, from blocked to followed. Steve, also, by the way, when Dakota and I finished the season last year, I doubted one of his bets and we put a dinner at Davio's on the line. So I owe him a dinner.
I still have not been paid yet for it.
Well, whatever you want to do, I'm in.
So we'll be down Braintree. I'm as a native masshole and womp myself. It makes me very happy to know that you to think like the best food you could eat growing up in Braintree was like Maria's Pizza in
JJ Mulligan's,
Braintree or there was no good food.
Maria's closed, by the way.
Oh,
you heard about what happened at Maria's?
Oh, what happened at Maria's?
So I guess. So what? You didn't hear about this, Steve?
No.
So I guess a lot of the staff was getting paid under the table, and someone called them out on it, and the staff didn't want to get hired back being above table, so he had to shut down. So
that's terrible.
Yeah.
So Steve, what do you think? So Steve, we're gonna try to I put up a piece at weei.com today, which was a 5-point checklist on what the Patriots need to do at the bye week to turn this offense around. Not the team, because you've got the best kicker in the NFL who's saving your bacon on a regular basis. Special teams have turned around, and the defense looks surprisingly Belichickian at this point, with a lot of rookies showing promise. But the offense is an absolute grease fire at this point. So I thought I would go with the food analogy there. Steve DiFilippo, how do we fix these New England Patriots and make them watchable, effective, and able to score the ball the second half of the season?
Well, I just want to say I went to Boston University. I have a business degree. Then I went to a chef school, okay? And I wear clogs. So I'm a chef restaurateur. So what do I know? I'm just, we all have opinions. Obviously we'd love to see, Mac, with more yardage and all that stuff and less mistakes. I mean, that's the offensive line. Now that we have Andrews back, I think that's going to be a huge thing because he really runs that line. People, I played high school football, and I remember I used to call the lines in the offensive line, the plays, and then on defense. It's amazing how important that person is. He's the quarterback for that line, and I think that's going to be a huge thing when he's back. So,
the offensive line has been a mess. Like the fact that you lose your center for a couple games, David Andrews, one of the best guys on the team. You got rookies, people playing out of place. Yep. That's one of the 5 points I have outlined, offensive line continuity. But see, Dakota has been banging the drum and crawling up my you-know-what about, get rid of Mac, put in Bailey Zappi. Are you a Mac guy or a Zappi guy?
Well, last week when he slid on the 2-yard line, that was a tough – you know what I'm talking about? in the game, the
Yep.
Colts game.
Sure.
I just didn't understand it. He had to take that hit, and so that was kind of frustrating. I think he had a good year last year, his rookie year, and I'd like to see more of him. I think it's unfair if we just pull him out right now. I think we need to go a couple more games and see how it goes. But so it's funny. He seems like a nice guy. He's been in the restaurant a bunch of times. I just don't know if he has that killer instinct. He just seems like a really, really nice boy. That's, you got to have that. Like, you got to be a killer in the NFL, and I don't know if he's got that. I don't know. What do you think?
Steve's taking a play from his good pal and old WEEI host Glenn Ordway of Sitting on the Fence.
Well, he broke the fence if he sat on it. So,
so we just introduced a new segment from
Sitting on the Fence,
from Block to Followed, and now there'll be a new segment after that called Pulling an Ordway, where we have somebody sit on the fence.
Come on, Glenn's a very good friend of mine.
Oh, Glenn, Steve, one of the honors of
we
my
wouldn't be here without Glenn. So.
No. First of all, there's no sports Twitter, there's no sports live stream, there's no sports radio without the Big O, who I grew up idolizing. One day, saying to myself as a chubby kid growing up in Braintree who went to college in New York, wanting to always work in sports media, thinking one day I'd love to be on the Big Show. And I got to work with Glenn a ton. And now I've had the torch passed to me to host the Patriots postgame show on WEEI. So, Glenn and Steve and Fred did an awesome job. They were like the cranky uncles in the VFW talking Patriots for decades, and it was a great show. And now I get to do it, and it's awesome. And Glenn was always the best to me as well. He's a legend. So yes, much respect as always. But the team is I say you got to ride out the season with Mac, because you don't drop a first-round pick on a guy and then just punt on him in the middle of the next season because your offense is stalled out time and again, which is what
I don't think it's all his fault. I think people don't. I mean, I know you guys know, but that offensive line is a huge problem. And I think if he had a really good, solid line, it would be a much different thing. I'm obviously a line guy, so I actually watch.
So Steve, here's my counter to that.
Steve gets it. He's a trenches guy. That's where you get it done. Coach Belichick is happy to hear that.
Right.
So Steve, do you realize that last year's offensive line play for pocket in the time for Mac Jones, it was 2.4 seconds averaged pocket time? Do you know what it is this year?
I know you're going to say more.
No, it's 2.4. He has the same exact. His sack percentage, okay, he only got sacked 5% of the time last year. This year, it's over 8%. That's because his decision-making is costing him. It's not the offensive line. I remember tweeting out, video outing last year of how bad that offensive line was. They're going to get Mac killed. But Mac, for some reason, made quicker decisions last year with the terrible offensive line. And this year, he just doesn't make those same decisions. That's a problem. Oh, did you mute Steve?
I did not know. I think he touched something that killed the live stream. If you want to text him and let him know, all he's got to do is click back on that link. He can jump back in. Okay, Dakota. But to your point though about I can't believe I just got followed by Steve DiFilippo, one of the greatest. No, that was actually super funny. The thing is, he's got the same amount of time, but last year's offense, as guided by, and I think we talked about this last week briefly, Josh McDaniels was a helicopter parent with Mac Jones last season, and he expertly guided him and held on to him closely and slowly gave him more slack and allowed him to go a little further and a little longer and take riskier plays when necessary or as the season progressed. Whereas this year, while I appreciate that they want to try to drive the ball down the field more and that they want to take risks, Mac is at this point, I call him the spinning beach ball. He's the Mac ball. Like when you're using a Macintosh and it's just asked to do too much and all of a sudden you get the spinning beach ball and you can hear the fan turn on. He's not playing, he's thinking. He's over processing.
He has become, and I mentioned it a couple of weeks ago, Tony Eason. He is. Tony Eason had those happy feet in the pocket, and Mac Jones has become Tony Eason.
Real quick, Les Ingalls, who always has excellent commentary. Brendan Schooler deserves some props, and I couldn't agree with you more. He's one of the surprises of the 2022 season and a rookie undrafted free agent. I recall the Felgers giving Belichick guff for signing a special teams undrafted free agent. Guys in on every play this season. When Slater's gone, he'll take over. Yes, he will. And the kid in 9 games, nose for the ball. 3 recovered fumbles. How do you like them apples?
It's pretty good.
Those are good apples, aren't they?
Pretty good. Hey, Uche finally showed up, by the way, right? Remember how Josh Uche?
Uche.
Uche?
Your mispronunciations are maybe my favorite part of this entire debacle, endeavor, etc. The fact
Well, who says yours is right and mine's wrong?
Uche, him. Who says it's wrong? The human, the person with the name. But Robert Louis Steele IV comes from a great line of Steele. What happened to Mac's pocket awareness? He looks like he woke up during the 3-step drop. Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
See, that's why there's been all this arguing in and amongst Pats fans. I've called it the Mac opinion civil war over like it's Mac's fault. No, it's Patricia's fault. No, it's the line's fault. How about it's everybody's fault? And everyone just needs to kumbaya, have Kyrie come through, sage the room. Maybe Steve can send over a nice little tray of Davio's Philly cheesesteak spring rolls, and they can all just have a little come to Big J moment. And everyone needs to just be like, big therapy circle. I don't care if they have to hit each other with pillows. Figure out what each is doing to prevent the other one from doing their job to the best of their ability. Because if you're going to do it, now's the time to do it. Because I'm not sure if you heard, Dakota, but they have 8 games left. And it's a brutal schedule, including 4. Count them.
If Mac Jones
primetime games in a row, son.
If Mac Jones starts in all those games, I would set the over/under at 2.5 wins. If he's going to start, I would love to be able to put that prop out there. 2.5 wins if Mac Jones starts all those starts and finishes. I don't need Zappy to come in from behind and clean things up and get a W. But start and finish those games. The total's 2.5.
Okay, it's out there now, and I'm putting it on the crawl just so people can see it. Dakota says an over/under of 2.5 wins the rest of the way for Mac Jones. Yep. I will take the over.
All right, where are the 3 wins going to come from?
You want to run through? Is Steve going to jump back in, or did he?
I messaged him. I don't know. Maybe he had a technical issue. Not really sure.
Well, if he messages you back or shows up, I'll bring him back in for some final words. But we appreciate Steve DiFilippo of Davio's, not a chain, a series of fabulous restaurants joining us today. I don't know what is, chain is also, I can see like kind of like a foul word for somebody who's in the high-end restaurant business.
You know what I wanted to ask Steve? How many people does he have blocked on Twitter? Like, were you like the only one that he's blocked?
No, because it's the first thing he said, like, did you say something political that just drove me nuts? Like, I never talk politics.
Yeah. I've never heard you say anything politically. Nothing.
No, I mean, I have my own views, but they're mine, not yours. And listen, I hear lots of yours. I don't agree with 3/4 of them. You know what? That doesn't even mean that I lean left or I go the other way. No. It's just, they're yours. That's fine. I don't judge. That's fine. So long as you do not infringe upon my ability to consume my bevs, root for my Patriots, or enjoy the company of my 2 ridiculous children, we're good, kid.
Yep. I'm as moderate as you come. I voted for 7 Republicans, 4 Democrats, and 1 independent. That's what I voted for.
All right, there we go. The Pats people are weighing in. I like that the D is trending better this year. Recent years, they started good and trended down. Very good point, Terry Bowes. Like that. Les Ingales says, take the over. It's over, son.
Over the 2.5? I want to know where are the wins coming from?
Jake Smith says, go Pats. Okay, good point, though. This is an excellent point. This is something they need to work on. Talk about the get your shit together department. Belichick pointed, thank you, Nathan Edward Bates. Belichick said that Indy's defense was figuring out the offensive plays in several moments during the game. Mark Daniels from the formerly of Providence Journal, now with Mass Live, wrote an article about that, and I dovetailed off of it for .com. Not only did Shaq Leonard, formerly Darius Leonard of the Colts, start calling out Patriots plays. They were so effing predictable. And this is where Patricia needs to figure his shit out quick. In addition to that, the previous week, C.J. Mosley, middle linebacker for the New York Jetropolitans, was doing the same damn thing.
You know what it's time for?
Embarrassing in the pros.
Do you know what it's time for?
What?
Dakota's Conspiracy of the Week.
Okay. Oh, there we go. We have no theme music for it, but
no intro. Okay.
No, we don't have an intro for it. Hold on. Ready? Here's the closest thing. Here's the closest thing I have for it.
Yep.
It's time for a ball up your backside. Dakota's Conspiracy of the Week. Go ahead. The floor is yours.
Someone inside the Patriots offensive coaching is letting the plays known to the other side to get Mac out of New England.
You're telling me somebody on the Patriots offense is purposefully tipping plays so as to make Mac Jones look bad? Do you think you're one of those people who believes that Patricia calls a better game for Zappe because that's his guy?
No. Well, no, Zappe's a better quarterback, so by default he's going to make what Patricia calls look like that is. I mean, don't forget, have you seen Hoyer yet? Because my first conspiracy was...
what kind of concussion did Hoyer have that he's been gone for like 7 weeks?
So, thank you. Remember, I said he took a dive. He took the Peter McNeely dive against Tyson. I couldn't knock you out. So, basically, I'm just taking the dive. Vinny Vecchione, another Braintree guy, throws the towel in. McNeely makes $500,000 for taking a dive. Hoyer took a dive. I never saw the head... barely hit the grass to get a concussion. And they just said, if you ever get hit, Hoyer, just go down. We've got Zappe. We want him into the game. And you still haven't seen Hoyer anywhere close to a field.
I want to know that's a great one. How come no one has checked in with Belichick? Is there that level of disinterest in the health of Brian Hoyer that nobody would actually check in and say like, hey coach, just
it's a conspiracy. He's fine because there's nothing wrong with him. They wanted Zappe in the game. Hoyer thought he never would be playing this year. So he was just like,
Brad watching on YouTube says, I'll take the under. Okay, fair enough.
Nice. None under 2.5.
Hey, how do you feel about Frank Reich now that he's been deposed in Indianapolis and Jeff
Frank Reich's a good coach. They have no quarterback.
They've gone to rent a quarterback every year since
Sam
the
Ellinger's
guy took over. Sam
He's
Ellinger's
terrible.
an embarrassment. He's an embarrassment. Now they're
he's
tanking for a quarterback or for a top pick next year. Because think about it. They went, so Luck retires, and Frank Reich is forced. He thought he was taking over for Luck, right? No, he was there in 2018, and he had Luck, but Luck was dinged up a lot. Then in 19, he retires. So he has had Brissett, Hoyer, Phillip Rivers, Carson Wentz, Matt Ryan, and Sam Ellinger. I mean, who the hell... I don't care if you're Steve DiFilippo. If you're handed that much chicken shit, there's no way you're making chicken salad, chicken a la king, or chicken parm.
Yep, and I just got a message from Steve. I just finally realized why I blocked Fitzy. I'm out, not coming back on.
Ah!
I'm only kidding.
I love that.
All right, so here's the schedule, right? Here they got left. They're against the Jets. Now, going into the season...
I'll give you. You can talk it through. I'm preparing my graphic that gives you the wins and losses the rest of the way. Go ahead.
Okay, so they beat the Jets down in New York. The Jets are, a lot healthier now, coming back into New England. They're both coming off of the bye. I think the Jets end up winning that game against Mac Jones. Now, if Zappe's the quarterback, I don't think so. I think Zappe would be able to win that game. Then they go at Minnesota. Mm-hmm. Minnesota's like
Thanksgiving night. Minnesota's 7-1 right now, guy.
Right. So Minnesota's probably going to be a 6-7 point favorite, I'm guessing. Patriots have no chance to win in Minnesota. Then you play Buffalo at home. Now, this is the wild card. We don't know the status of Josh Allen. If Josh Allen plays, that's a loss. If he doesn't play, Patriots have a shot. Then they go at Arizona. And the problem with this game is Arizona is still kind of like going to be in the mix. They can't tank yet because there's 6 games like that. They play week 14. So that's kind of like the last salvo, I think, for Arizona. By that time, they'll know if they're going to be still kind of in a race or not. And you have to go to Arizona. I don't like that as a win. I like that as a loss. Then you got to go to Vegas, who, if I am correct, didn't Josh McDaniels beat Belichick the last time he coached against them?
Back in 2009.
Right? So
2009.
I get it. I don't see them going into Raider country in Vegas and winning that game. So that brings us to Cincinnati, who's showing starting to show their Super Bowl form. Do you have any faith that if Cincinnati is fully healthy, that the Patriots could beat Cincinnati here in Week 16, and that's a critical game. So it's not the last game where they may just rest everybody. That's going to be a critical game for Cincinnati.
Because I think the Ravens are going to win the NFC North, which
Yep.
means that the Ben's Gals will be competing for a wild card spot like the Chargers, like the Jets, like the Dolphins, and hopefully like the Patriots. Here, I'll put it up for you. Ready? Here you go.
Yeah.
Bam. I have the Patriots losing to the Jets, losing to the Vikings, losing to the Bills, and then, are you ready for this?
Yeah.
Winning on the road against the Cardinals, winning on the road against the Raiders, winning a Christmas Eve special against the Bengals, beating the Finns on New Year's Day, and then sadly losing up in Buffalo to end the season because here's why.
Why?
Buffalo, we were hoping and praying was going to be a wagon, would lose one game. By the time you get to Week 18 and the Patriots have a chance, a sliver of hope, just the tiniest a nugget, a morsel of a chance to get into the playoffs. Maybe the Bills would be resting everybody because it would be like a play-in bye, and they've already got the number 1 seed secured. But now that Josh Allen has the UCL injury, and he may not play this week or could be compromised the rest of the way, the AFC East and the AFC overall are completely up for grabs.
Sure.
So they're going to be playing that game. Buffalo, better than the Patriots. They're going to need it and want it more. As hard as the Pats may ball out, if they can get any offensive momentum going, I just can't see them finishing up this year and starting next year with it.
Well, this is why I like my 2.5. I love that 2.5 number. I think it's a right number. I know a lot of people think it's easy, but those games, those are going to be all tough games. There's no one on that schedule that's going to be a walkthrough. And when you got Mac Jones, who's rated, I think, the 30th ranked quarterback in the NFL,
30, he's 30th out of 33. That would be correct.
Yeah. So to me, Zappy is the only way that they get over 2.5 wins.
Here's my now officially favorite stupidest comment of all time. Have you ever seen Russell Wilson and Brian Hoyer in the same place at the same time? Hashtag Finkel is Einhorn. Oh, David. Treadmill entertainment at its finest, ladies and gentlemen. Treadmill entertainment. You know what? Actually, if I was watching this live stream and I was Steve DiFilippo and I owned several Davios and was a premier restaurateur, you know what? I would have a technical difficulty as well. I jest. Some think that the Patriots will have a good chance on Christmas Eve and get a big win against Cincinnati. I think it's just one of those games like, the Patriots, that's a Belichick over, what's that called? Zach Smith? What is the name of Zach Taylor. Joe Burrow's great. Their wide receivers, when healthy, are tremendous. But Cincinnati is the team that represents the NFL to a T this year. Because 2 weeks ago, they're heavy favorites on the road against the Browns. What do? Get their asses handed to them on Monday Night Football, losing however much they lost by. It should have been double, and it wasn't that close. The next week, they have the hottest team in the NFL coming in, the Panthers. And that's why I teased them up. And what do you know? Next thing you know, they're up to a 28-0 lead, and they blow doors on the Panthers. So, it's the most inconsistent, junky, unpredictable, ridiculous season to date.
Yep. And Steve says, sorry, my computer died. I can't find the cord. I left it in Virginia, I think.
We will do, but our end of season from the bar at Davio's in Braintree live stream.
I like that idea. Or we can do Foxborough. Braintree, Foxborough, or even the Seaport. Seaport would be better.
You know what? I'm also not against maybe doing a little tour.
Encore?
A little tour. Yeah, we'll get a room at Encore.
Yeah.
Maybe Joe Z will hook us up with a room. We can do a little bit of everything that we love. Steve will teach us how to play craps. We'll be millionaires. I'm ready.
And we'll set our goal for 10,000. Once we make 10,000, we're done.
And you know what we should do, Dakota? Here, I want to say this.
What's that, buddy?
A lot of our viewers are in, outside Buckhead, in Virginia, Arizona, whatever.
We'll fly everybody in?
Well, no, we should pick a lucky viewer to join us for dinner at our Davio's DiFilippo special end of season dinner.
Mm-hmm.
One lucky viewer gets to join you, me, and your fabulous fiance for a dinner for 4.
Does she have to come?
So one lucky viewer will join you and me.
My friends always says I can't bring sand to the beach. I mean, you're not supposed to do that.
Honest to God, what's wrong with you?
Anyways, I just looked at DraftKings, so they still have over unders for the regular season.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what the Patriots over under is right now in season?
7.5.
Well, now, how many? They have 5 wins now.
Is it 8.5?
8.5.
That's what it was to start the season, so it hasn't changed.
No, it hasn't changed.
No, they haven't adjusted because there have been plenty of in-season adjustments.
Yeah.
Wow, it hasn't changed at all. How about
Yeah,
that?
so they think that 3 wins is 3 to 4 max, pretty much. So my 2.5 isn't a bad line.
I'm taking the over. I got 9 on the season, 9 and 8. Like I said, they missed the playoffs barely.
Yeah.
But while you're enjoying the bye, spending time with the family, doing whatever it is that you do, raking some leaves, grilling and chilling, like I get to actually enjoy a Sunday with I get one completely stress-free, work-free, chillax Sunday. Obviously, Friday and Saturday in the Northeast are going to be a bit of a washout. Looking forward to grilling, chilling, hanging out, watching football with the kiddos, and making money for the holidays with this week's poorly prepared, hastily researched, Fitzy's idiotic 3-team teaser. I'll take the Broncos teased up to +8 in Tennessee. I'll take the Raiders at home against the Colts. They're even. All they got to do is win, which I know is difficult. And then I'll take the over in Detroit at Chicago, which is 48.5. The Bears are the hottest team in the NFL right now. Justin Fields is the highest scoring fantasy player and the number 1 rated quarterback over the past month in the NFL. Green Bay actually helped Detroit discover its mojo again last week. I figure a 24-20 final, which I think is way under where this game will finally finish, gets the job done. So there it is right there. Give me the Broncos +8 after Russell Wilson, Mr. Dangerous, Mr. 4 hours of high knees on the airplane, Mr. Unlimited. He'll ride to at least covering that. The Raiders, if all right, put it this way. If the Raiders lose at home Sunday to the Colts with Jeff Saturday as coach,
Be fired?
Parks Frazier. See, look, I still have that finger still effed up from where I started.
Oh my God, yeah.
Yeah. Parks Frazier is offensive coordinator and Sam Ellinger is quarterback. If the Raiders lose this game,
Yeah.
McDaniel should be fired on the spot.
Spread's only 6.
Because the Raiders don't deserve to be favored over anybody, so they're getting 3 because the Colts suck and 3 for home.
Raiders are still a good team. They just suck. Like, the talent is good.
It's my favorite line I've ever heard from you. The Raiders are still a good team. They just suck. That kind of flies in the face of what the definition of a good team is.
No.
Yes.
Hey, you know what? Who hasn't checked in yet on our stream chat?
Who's that?
Facebook user.
Oh, where's Facebook user? David Tressel says the winner at the Davio's restaurant should be the worst comment ever.
Well, the intern, it's not going to be the intern. The intern's getting a lot of shit because my mic volume was way too high.
Oh, Rob, I know.
Yeah, they all think he has control of the mic volume. I have control of the mic volume. The only thing I don't have control of is that mute button that fits me.
Yeah, it's a shame that Dakota doesn't have control of the mute button, huh? I know, it's a shame. I miss him too. I miss him so much. I wonder what crazy conspiracies, ridiculous hot takes, annoying zappy comments, or locks of the week that are sure to shit the bed he can come up with in the time he's been sent to timeout corner. Let's find out. Welcome back. Oh, someone was so sad. You can come back now.
Is this thing on? I was gonna. You know what I used to have? I need to find it.
Dreams, hope.
No.
Amazing night of sleep.
I used to have one of those monkeys that you could basically wrap around your neck and your waist when you were a kid, and you put your hand in and it had a little squeaky thing, and you could pretend that you were like a ventriloquist. I used to love this thing as a 4 or 5 year old. I had it until I was like 18 or 19, and then I don't know what happened to it. And it was, I was like just thinking, like if I had that monkey right now, I would just kind of like pretend it was like a Muppet underneath and sit in front of the mic. And I need more props. Bottom line, I need more props.
Related to my 3-team teaser of the week, I just noticed as I refreshed Twitter, according to Adam Schefter, he has a blue check mark, but it is the Adam Schefter, not somebody else during the absolute hog fest that is the shit show that has been getting verified in the Muskverse. Raiders are placing tight end Darren Waller on injured reserve. Waller aggravated his hamstring injury, and the team believes this will give him 4 weeks to get it healthy. and
Yep.
come back to finish the season where the Raiders will end up 6-11 and nobody cares.
Morneau's pretty good though. Their other tight end's pretty good. I like him.
Well, see,
I think it's Morneau.
Robert Louis Stevenson. You sound like a pretty cool kid. Well, maybe you'll join us for that supper there. RLS4.
Wait a minute. I sound like a pretty cool kid, or you sound like a pretty cool kid? Because all yours was betting in a casino, right? You and Steve, right?
No. I said we'll have cocktails and a supper at a Davio's to properly wrap an excellent.
No, when you were a kid, you sound like a pretty cool kid. Like kid back in the day or kid now?
That's a good point. Maybe he'll
Yeah.
maybe he'll reply for us. All right. What is your lock of the week before we wrap up this week's broadcast? Because I got a fundraiser at Fenway I got to go host.
I'm going with the Chargers this week. They're getting 7 against San Francisco. In-state rivalry game. They'll probably have their rush uniforms going. The Chargers have been wishy-washy for most of the year, like good game, bad game, good game. They still have the talent that's there. And I think since San Francisco's going out of conference, this is where they're giving up 7 points. I like the Chargers. They could potentially win this game. Kind of like I did when I liked the Jets to beat Buffalo outright last week as a huge 14-point underdog. I like the Chargers plus the points and as my upset special of the week to win that game.
All right. So you would not only just take them with the points, but also on the money line. Cool, bro, because Keenan Allen and Mike Williams, the top 2 targets for Justin Herbert and the San Diego Chargers, as I like to call them, both missed practice on Wednesday and are trending in the wrong direction for Sunday's game, thereby leaving it to Josh Palmer, Austin Eckler, and whoever their freaking tight end is, Gerald Everett, to defeat a 49ers team that has coming off the bye and has kind of maybe unlocked their offense now that they picked up CMC, Christian McCaffrey, who was a monster in that game against the Rams.
So you're going to have to help me with this, Fitzy, since you're the movie king. Joe McBride says Dakota, by the way, when you're telling these little stories, here's a good idea, have a point. So I thought it was a direction towards me because sometimes I get my head into a fog where I'm telling these stories and forgot the point, so I get the reference, but I don't know what the movie is. What would the movie be?
I don't think that's Billy Madison.
Oh, there it is. Somebody chimed in the chat. James.
Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. No kidding. That's where that one's from?
Wow, Fitzy, I thought you would have known that.
Okay, now see, David Tressel says it's from Mr. Saturday. I don't think it's from Planes, Trains, and Automobiles.
Oh.
David Tressel says it's from Mr. Who the hell quotes Mr. Saturday Night? Although that is a great drop.
I've never even heard of that movie, Mr. Saturday Night.
Billy Crystal, are you kidding? David Paymer, it's a classic. Mid-90s?
Don't know.
No? You got to be kidding me.
Don't even know who David Paymer is. At least by name. I probably know him by face.
Yeah, he's like one of those quintessentially supporting actors where you'd see him and you'd know him in a heartbeat. Yeah, I'm with Robert. San Francisco is going to absolutely feast Sunday against the Chargers. That's cool. Their secondary is decimated. They're 7 for the money line on the line. Woo.
And here's another segment time.
Yep.
Last week I had mentioned my Netflix series was The Watcher. I binged it. This past week it was Inside Man. I don't know if you've seen it yet.
A movie? Spike Lee movie. It's great. With Clive Owen?
No. Inside Man. I think it's called Inside Man. It's on Netflix. It's 4 episodes. And it's about a murderer that's in jail that they go to solve a few crimes. The actor's phenomenal. Inside Man on Netflix.
It's called Inside Man. That's so funny because there is a movie by Spike Lee that's actually very good called Inside Man. No joke.
So if someone calls another live stream of NFL dick pics with Fitzy and Dakota, we can't get upset because there's 2 Inside Mans? See, I can make you laugh. Fitzy. You're a comedian. You know how tough it is to make a comedian laugh? It is the toughest thing.
Very easy. And who
have you ever
calling a comedian?
Because have you ever hung around with Greg Murphy enough? I don't think I've ever got a chuckle out of him. I can get a chuckle out of.
That's Murph though. Murph is the definition of great guy, good hang, tough crowd.
And drinks huge, tall draft beers.
Loves there's nothing Murph loves more.
We got to get him on one. We should have him on. Unless he's
One-
blocking you. Unless he's blocking you.
Where he's doing comedy. Yeah, exactly. All right. That's another fantastic idea. This has been the bye week edition of the old Dick Picks. Patriots on the bye. They're next in action Sunday the 20th, 1 o'clock against the Jets. A game I think sadly they'll probably have a hard time winning. Dakota's all in on the Jets that week.
And I got I got that plug for Fourier though before. So next Wednesday and Thursday, Fourier is doing his Christian Fourier Crusade for a Cure. It's the Blitz Against Diabetes. It is Diabetes Month. I'm a type 1 diabetic. I help him out every year. I'm going to be in studio on WEEI from 6 to 10 Eastern time. We may have the live stream like we did last year. Please call
you, Mutt, and Fourier. That'll be a good
yes,
crowd.
and it was great. I had a great time with Mutt. I had a great time 2 years ago or 3 years ago with you. That was phenomenal. But I don't know. You got thrown to like the 1 to 3 a.m. cruise, so I don't even see you in the hallway since I'm out of there at 10.
1 to 3 shift. I'm on the graveyard shift with Fourier. That is going to be You know what we're going to do? We're going to prank call you.
100%. Do it.
Okay.
100%. Because I blocked you. That's why.
All right, everyone. Don't forget to block me at FitzyGFY, and then we can have you back on the show for Block and Follow. Thank you guys for watching. You guys are the absolute best. The Treadmill Entertainment you never knew you needed before. Your old friends Fitzy and Dakota here on the Dick Pick stream. We'll be back next Thursday to help you get ready for Week 11 in the NFL. Jets and Patriots. Until then, enjoy the bye, everybody. If you're near Davio's, please go on inside. Have a great meal. Tell Steve you watched us on the live stream where his computer cut out 27 minutes in. Take care of yourself. God bless. Go Pats. And while you're at it, why not go fuck yourselves? See ya.
Bye, guys.